Hi everybody, coming to you from sunny Acadia National Park, Maine. Everywhere I come to you from is apparently sunny, but that's not a bad thing. Yes, I chose the most bookish looking area of where we're hanging out, and no, this is not a very bookish vacation. In fact, I'm hunching over so you don't see the s'more stains all over my shirt. Anyway, just wanted to say generally that the Hume stuff has been very, very, very good. I've been impressed with your question sets very much, and the discussion board was really, 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 really good this time, especially with the miracle discussion. I think you guys are really getting into the idea of what what I was worried about as far as induction, Hume, and the sense of miracles go. I somehow got relegated to the children's room at this place, and I found, how do I do this? Found this book, Oh, the Thinks You Can Think. That's weird, you can't see, that's weird. Anyway, by Dr. Seuss being a favorite, and I actually thought of Hume. I was thinking, well, can you really think of wait a second, where is it at? This is supposed to go quickly. Oh, can you think about the Viper of Vip? You know, Hume might say, you can't really come up with these mythical creatures, partially because you didn't have any kind of impression, or if you did, it came from some strange impression that you had that you combined with. Anyway, that's beyond the point. This week we've moved into a unit on personal identity. Yes, that's the Beatles. Yeah. Anyway, just the basic idea that you want to get out of the readings, just to kind of set you up, is the question kind of what makes you you. It seems pretty easy as you think on a everyday kind of basis. It's your name, or it's, you know, the things that you do, but what actually contributes to your sense of uniqueness? You know, we're all snowflakes and butterflies and all that kind of stuff, but more importantly, is it our bodies? Is it our brains? Is there a soul? What can possibly contribute to this sense that we have that we are the same person over time? Or aren't we the same person over time? And if not, then how do we explain certain continuities? You know, one of the answers that you'll get is Locke's memory theory, which is the idea that memory is what kind of makes you you over an extended period of time. So, for example, what connects me to the 7-year-old that just skinned his knee, you know, 23 years ago? Well, it's certain memories, kind of guideposts throughout that era that says, you know, I'm the same kid as that person because I remember the same things that that kid did. It kind of makes you wonder a couple things. One, what about people with Alzheimer's? Are they literally not the same person that they were? Some people might say no, and some people think that that's a good reason for not treating them as the same kind of agent. Somebody who has brain damage, it's difficult to say that they're the same person that they were before. In the sense of memory, what about the fact that we're kind of selective with our memories? I have a grandmother who somehow makes herself the hero of every memory and quip. She always said the exact right thing. She always came in with a good quip. She always did the right thing in every situation, you know? So in some sense, her identity is wrapped around a kind of narrative that she wishes to have, which is basically of the hero, of the protagonist, of the witty, perfect, you know, responder, when that's not necessarily who she is. And that raises the question something like, what role do other people play in who we are? So I look at her and say, well, you're a nice lady and all, but you're not exactly Bob Hope when it comes to like making zingers at people, and you don't always necessarily do the right thing. So what kind of negotiation is there between you know, what you say you are and what I say you are? The same thing would go if I would look at you right now and say I am a middle-aged woman. You know, some people might say, well, you have the right to define yourself in any way that you want. You know, if I want to say I'm a middle-aged woman, I can do it. But there are certain social conventions that say that I'm not. I mean, you know, this would be a very nice beard for a middle-aged woman to have. It'd be very surprising if she did. But certain sort of external clues make you think that I'm not a middle-aged woman, or at least that that's not the way that we can talk about things. I mean, that there are certain constraints to who I say I am or who I am based on linguistic practices, based on biological necessity. I mean, you know. But how far do those Excuse me, I still have a little bit of the whooping cough. Luckily, you can't get it through the internet. It's not one of those viruses. So what sort of roles can be played within a certain language game? So language has something to do with who I am, my biology, my brain, but none of these can necessarily be complete explanations of who I am, mainly because they all seem to leave out something. If I say I'm just my body, right, you could imagine someone like Stephen Hawking, who is, as some people describe, a mind trapped in a body. If he were just his body, he couldn't necessarily do the things that he does. I would say in that sense that there needs to be an understanding of what we mean by mind and body. That might be an issue that you have, saying, well, how can we really separate mind and body without body stuff like a brain or whatever? A mind might not exist, and without a mind we might not be able to make the kind of distinctions that we're talking about. So that's really important. As I said in the email, you don't have to read the Justin Lieber piece, or Lieber, or however you say it, How to Build a Human. It's not very great. I want you to pay specific attention to the tension between Locke and Hume on this issue. Both of them claim to be empiricists. In other words, you have to have some sort of direct experience of things in order to say that you know them. But both of them have a problem with asking the question, what direct experience do we have with self? Someone like Locke is going to say, well, we mentally, son of a bitch.